He can do trips where he trolls inshore for grouper. He does tarpon trips along the beach, the whole 9 yards. If you tell him you want to catch fish, tell him what kind of fish you want to catch, and he's going to put you on. I promise you that. So without any further ado, Captain Glenn Taylor.
No pressure.
No, not at all. I really want to appreciate everybody for coming out tonight. The tournament in October really hits close to me because I have my little nephew. He was 2 years old and he was diagnosed with brain cancer. We lost him at 4. Still think about him every single day, Jason. And he'd be about 18 years old now if he would have made it. So you guys on that tournament, support it. I know I'm going to be there and see what you're doing and whatnot. You know, it's kind of tough, that whole cancer thing. Nobody likes a big scene. If you live long enough, everybody gets it, right? So maybe, you know, with some of our donations and whatever product that we can come up with, who knows, maybe that'll unlock, you know, the mystery. But my name is Glenn, and I've been down here since it's 93 now fishing. I fish about, I don't know, 220 to 230 days a year. I've been mostly a private charter captain. I have a unique group of clients that are, I mean, hardcore fishermen. I have some guys that come down, and I have one client that books me 7 weeks out of the year. So for 7 straight weeks, not back-to-back consecutive. This year we did do 20 straight days in May, and that was a long stretch fishing with one guy. Let me tell you something. You really got to have a lot of give and take in there. So, but it was unique because we were able to target different species. We were tarpon fishing, we were permit fishing, we were snapper fishing. We were doing some grouper fishing, so it, you know, enabled us to do some snook and red fishing, and so it enabled us to do that. I run a 27-foot Calcutta, which is a big boat. It's great for fly fishing. I don't know if you guys are fly fishermen or not, but it enables me to fish off the beach, fishing about 15 inches, or I can run about 50 miles offshore. So I've been able to hone the skills inshore, offshore, near shore, anywhere it's wet. I know there used to be a legendary captain over in Pass the Grill. His name was Ron, and I was just reading some of his excerpts just the other day, and he was back, I think it was down in the 50s, and this kind of relates, you know, to my way of thinking, and my wife can attest to that. On his wedding night, he skipped his wedding night because the tarpon bite was so good. And I was reading that, and I'm like, you know what, this guy right here, I can really relate to. I think my wife's comment was, I can't even believe he got married. But that's kind of where I come from. I did grow up on the Eastern Shore, Virginia. It's a small little town. We're known for flounder fishing and tuna fishing. Ever since I've been about 6 years old, I was sitting there painting these little cigar and cedar plugs, and I'd get the tan cedar plug and I'd paint them all night long. And I would actually go to Watch Craig Marina. I would ride a little motorcycle when I was maybe 9 or 10 years old, 15 miles away on these back roads. I mean, still today we don't have cable TV down in Virginia. It's pretty backwoods. And I'd get on the boat, sleep in the bow, and wait for everybody to get on there. We had like a 40-some foot boat. We went maybe 8 knots, and I had to go up to the top with the spotlight and shine it as we went out of Watch Craig. If anybody's ever been out of those channels, it's treacherous and there's crab pots everywhere. The old man's screaming at me, hold the spotlight steady, you can't see a thing, I'm shining in his eyes. But that's kind of basically what my background is. Billy, you know, you're in the Outer Banks, so we've been chasing tuna probably, you know, almost my whole life. So when I came down here, when I was graduating from college, I had 3 places circled: San Diego, the Outer Banks, and then anywhere in Florida, wherever the job would take me. I was lucky enough to get a job as a senior in college, and it was especially on West Palm Beach, and then I was transferred to Tampa Bay. And I didn't know much about them, except for the Buccaneers just sucked. Benny Testaverde was horrible, Bo Jackson wouldn't play for him. And I didn't know much about the Bay, except for like it was the 2nd largest bay compared to the Chesapeake Bay. And so I was kind of familiar with that, so I said, you know what, let's try the fishing. Needless to say, what a learning curve from fishing out of Watch Craig to go on tuna fishing to fishing in Tampa Bay. I don't know how many guys here are transplants, but I had a tough time for a number of years learning, you know, how to fish in this area. It was a lot different for me. But what I've learned to really, I guess, get accustomed to, or what I really enjoy, I like going offshore, and I like chumming up fish and being able to see the fish and then feeding a bait. And the tarpon fishing, I love being able to throw a crab, throw a plug in a tarpon, watching them eat it. Any type of fish, I don't care if it's a pinfish, to a tarpon, to a tuna. If I can watch them eat my bait, it's a successful day. I mean, it could be a speckled trout on the flats, it could be a redfish, or it could be a mako shark. I caught my first longfin mako this year, which was pretty exciting for me. The thing was like 15 foot long, and that was my first longfin mako. So that was my favorite fish to catch, is the the short fins, but I've never really caught a long fin. But anyway, I'm here to discuss a little bit of snapper fishing. I hear that we lost another tackle shop. Our no baits down here. The economy's killing everybody, man, and that's a shame. And good news with the kind of fishing I'm doing. Yesterday I had one of my best charters. I went out, I actually did one of Billy's numbers, and yesterday, in about an hour and a half, we got our 30-man limit of snapper, which was awesome. We had like a half a dozen nice grouper. And then about a mile away, we saw the tuna busting. We ran over there, we got 3 nice blackfin tuna, which was a real nice surprise. And while we were tuna fishing, there was past crabs floating all along, and we were scooping up. I was scooping up the past crabs, and then we ran to a wreck that was about a mile away, and we went 5 for 5 on permit, like 35 pounds. So what a successful day that I had yesterday. At the end of the day, I got 0 tip. I just I don't know how I do all that, man. I got 0 tip. It just blows my mind.
We're not bitter, are we?
No, we're not bitter at all. So if you guys do charter, but you have the time of your life, the best trip ever, maybe the best cabin trip, maybe throw it even if it's $1, just a token. No, but what a great day yesterday was. And I want to discuss a little bit on how I caught those fish today and share with you my experiences, and maybe you guys can duplicate it. We can do it inside the bay, because I guess most of you guys Southshore, I don't know if anybody's running twin engines or triples or quads over here, but you can do it on the inside. But you can do that. And what I look for when I'm out there, when I'm looking for snapper, I'm looking for at least a 3-foot rise. And I don't know, you got to have a GPS and you got to have a sonar system on there. I run a Peruno sonar, and it's really, really helped. I crank my zoom up so I can see the details. But for my snapper fishing, I'm looking for a 3-foot rise. When I first moved down here, everybody was gag fishing, great grouper fishing. And that's fun, don't get me wrong, I enjoy doing it. But a lot of times when I have my clients, like yesterday, I had 2 young boys with me. You guys think about go grouper fishing, you're on a big rock pile. We're dropping down a big bait, first thing they do is get rocked up. And what happens when those big fish get rocked up? Anybody know? What do?
They start barking.
They bark like a dog. And you know what that does? You could be on a spot, the show is just magnificent on the screen. I mean, fish are all over, you're expecting that we're going to just wear them out, and it shuts the pipe completely down. And I've done that, fellas, time in and time again. So if you're out there, and you got a great show, and you guys got rocked up and the bite shuts down, most likely those fish go down and really bark like a dog. It's amazing if you've ever heard them, the way they just go down there, and then they stick their head down, they kick their tail, they blow sand everywhere, and it shuts it down. So instead of doing that, I started focusing in on, let's bring the fish to the surface. It's a lot easier that way. The tackle is a lot smaller. Most of the guys are doing 4-aughts, 5-aughts, 6-aught rods and reels, right? They're cranking down these 8-ounce lead, these gigantic baits, and then they're getting rocked up still half the time. So what I've done, I started chubbing. And this is the great thing for you guys where you can't get any live bait. If I'm talking fast, just tell me to slow down. I get kind of excited about it. But I use glass minnows. It's probably my #1 chum. I don't know if you guys have a source for glass minnows over here or not. You can catch your own. It requires knowing that. I go over to Save on Seafood in Gulfport, Florida, and I just buy 5-pound blocks of them, little frozen blocks, and I just toss them off the stern. I don't know what episode, Billy, you and I did that show.
Baby hands.
Baby hands. Yeah, he's got some baby hands on there.
I'll
We
tell you
did that
this,
show.
The first episode you all did together.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
that. And if you really pay attention, you guys can find one of my best snapper spots, because I believe that day was the cameraman's first day offshore filming. Wasn't that right? Wasn't that his first day?
It was his first day off day filming, and it was my first. I just got that machine on there, and I didn't realize I was showing your lat long.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you guys this, Glenn caught me my personal largest mangrove snapper ever. And I guess it was like 110 feet of water,
Yeah.
15-pound test on my trout and snook rods,
Right.
10.5-pound mangrove snapper.
Yeah, we got that on the boat grip on the film. So that's the kind of fish that we're catching on there. But if you guys want to know spots, I mean, he's on TV like 3 to 5 times a week, twice on Saturday and Sunday on the radios and stuff. If you can catch that episode, TiVo it, whatever you do, man, you can catch a number on there. It's one of our better spots.
Sorry, Glenn.
Yeah, that's all right, man. But I thought I had to throw that out to you.
Appreciate it.
But anyway, I start with plastic.
Life's a little deeper.
So just go and buy them. That's what I do. They're like $5 for a 5-pound block, and we just throw them out. Right? Just keep on tossing.
It's like crack.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden the fish start to rise. And what's great about it, at least in my perspective, the snapper, small mouth, small belly, completely unlike myself, but they don't get filled up and they get into a frenzy. Yesterday on my trip, I probably had a ball of snapper the size of this room right behind my stern. It was just absolutely amazing. And we just wore them out. I'm telling you, in an hour and a half, we had 30, of the most beautiful mangrove snapper that you've ever seen coming to the boat. So it was really nice to do that. Then what I do is, I get a box of sardines. There's nothing special about what I'm doing. And there's two ways that I do it. I either free line the sardine, or I put it on a jig head. If I can't get the fish to rise all the way to the surface, then I'm putting on a jig. And I got some rods here to demonstrate that. If I can see the fish, I'm getting a little piece of sardine, and I'm flipping it out, and I'm just pulling mine, open bail. As soon as that line starts screaming off my reel, and you'll see it, there's no doubt about it. You'll be sitting there, and all of a sudden I'll go, close the bail, bang, set the hook. I don't use a circle hook. I know most of you guys use circle hooks on there. For the snapper fishing that I'm doing, we're not on the bottom, so I don't believe, maybe we can FWC. I'm not sure. I'm not fishing on the bottom. If I was fishing on the bottom with the sinker, I'd use a circle hook. But in my experience, the little tiny J hooks are the way to go. And when I can see the fish, I am burying my hook right into the little piece of sardine. And the whole secret to that, I was going to bring some in, but this is such a nice resort. I get my sardine and I cut it in about 6 pieces. They're real small pieces. In the animal kingdom, it always seems like they want to, whatever it is, they eat the head first of their prey. I don't know if you've ever noticed that or not. A cat catches a mouse, eats the head first. Normally a fish will eat another fish head first. So I'll cut the body of that sardine up in little tiny chunks, and I'll throw it over, right? As that's sinking, I'll get the head, get my little tiny hook, and I'll flip it right out. And this is the whole gig. You want your bait to be falling down with the rest of the bait at the same time. They see the snapper season, comes in, they start picking at it, there's the head. Normally the biggest snapper in that group is going to come and eat that head. Once you watch him eat it, the line starts to scream, close your bail, and down.
What size hook are you using?
That's a great question. That's what I'm about to show you guys right here. I'm using the number 1 tiny hook. Tiny hook. Most people say, hey, well, you catch an 8-10 pound snapper, that little hook won't hold up. But you got to remember, it's not the size of the fish that you're targeting, it's actually the bait that you're using. So whatever size bait that you're using, make sure that your hook is appropriate. And trust me, this little number 1 hook right here will bring them in. Tony, you have a question?
Yeah, what size of flaw are you using?
Okay, that's another great question. When I first brought Billy out there, I was telling him, he goes, hey, come on, man, let's go do a show. And I said, yeah, I'll show you how we do it. So he had a nice leader on, right? I said, Billy, man, you probably want to go with a little bit longer leader. No, I'm catching these big snork out of the Southshore. I'm using like a 5-foot leader. Billy, man, you probably want to use a longer leader. Told Mike, I said, hey, Mike, put on about a 15-foot leader. Mike listens immediately, but he follows directions well. Billy's sitting there. Mike throws on a sardine, flips it out, and he's just stroking the snap one after the other. Billy's like, well, I'm not getting bit. I'm not getting bit. But Bill, man, why don't you go with a little bit longer leader? What I like to use, if I can see the fish in the surface, I'm using 15 to 20 pound test fluorocarbon and at least 15 feet of leader. Now I know it's kind of hard on the pocketbook because we all know how expensive that fluoro is. I mean, man, is that stuff expensive. They're proud of it. But let me tell you something, it's worth it. 15 foot, 15 pound test, my rule of thumb. Now when I'm using a jig, I go a little bit heavier. And the reason why I go a little bit heavier on my jig is because it's falling deeper into the column, right? So less light, less visibility. So you don't really have to be required to use such light baits. The thing that I find out with the jig, and I use a little bit bigger rod too, when I'm doing this. This is just a regular Shimano Stradic right here. This rod here is a Seeker blank. I like to use the Seeker blanks. They're actually tuna rods made in California because we catch almost everything when we're doing this with the sardines. Got my jig. I don't like a painted jig. I don't know if it's just my comfort level, but it's been determined by me doing it for years and years. I get hits, way more hits on a naked jig. And I believe the reason being is because if you look at the color of this jig, and you look at a sardine, it's almost the exact same color. So it kind of blends in. So everything with these snapper, it's not like a big dumb red grouper fire truck that's going to eat anything you throw out. It's not that way. These snappers have keen eyesight. Don't look at it. If they don't like the presentation, they're not going to eat it. I mean, plain and simple. I use these. Billy gave me about 10 dozen packs of these things. I don't even know what these are really. What are, do you remember what you gave them?
They're made by Spro.
They're Spro, work fantastic.
What is it for? What actually is the jig for?
It's just a 1/4 ounce lead jig head. That's all it is. There's nothing, but I don't like the painted ones. The painted
That's
ones,
a 1/4 ounce in it. Is that a quarter?
that's a
ounce?
1/4 ounce.
1/4 ounce.
This one right here. And it's depending too how much current that you have. You know, you can, go from 1/8 ounce, 1/4 ounce. It'd be nice if a company made a 16. I don't know if they really make a 16.
How long did you leave her on that one?
On this one, on my jig head, I go about 10 feet, maybe 12 feet. I still like a long leader. It matters.
Well, you're very tall.
I'm pretty wide too. What are you saying, sir?
It makes difference when you're tying up your back.
All fishing,
No.
much or just a snapper?
No, just a snapper. Yeah, when I'm grouper fishing, I don't use a very long leader. You know, if I'm using a sinker, just a typical grouper, I'm only using maybe, I'm cheap, 2 or 3 foot leader. Doesn't seem to matter. But the snapper, they're a different animal. I mean, they really truly are.
What about we fish shallow?
Fish shallow, same difference. No doubt. I mean, I've done this in Tampa Bay. There's some rock piles on the south side of the shipping channel, a couple miles in, between the Skyway and Port Manatee. You can drive there and you can chum them right up. If not, you'll be amazed. You guys get sardines, cut them up, start chunking them, right? Boom, boom, boom. Then drop this bad boy in and let it free line. And let the line come on. When that line starts screaming, quality fish. And when we do, Billy and I were out, we were buddy boating one time, and I was using those, and I had some really big glass minnows. I don't know where Save on Seafood got them from, but I was actually putting the glass minnow on my hook, and all of a sudden he screams, "Hey, blackfin tuna just got into your choke slate." I threw a glass minnow on, tossed it out there. 20 minutes later, I had like 28-pound blackfin. We catch mahi, blackfins, mangrove snapper, yellowtail snapper. It's just, there's nothing on there. I mean, really, there's not. I know people love talking about, I guess it's equivalent to getting big snook on hot water. When you see that surface strike. And what they normally do is, when you're sitting there drifting it out, they're just peeling it, they'll come running straight down back to the boat. It's absolutely amazing. When they hit an 8-pound mangrove snapper, it's tough, buddy. I mean, you have your hands full. Just a little snapper. Good luck. Good luck. Because I'm telling you, he's going to test everything that you got. Because what they'll do is, if you let them eat it for too long, they got giant teeth on there. And they will. That's why they're called snapper. They'll snap you later. Do we lose a lot of fish? Yeah, you bet we do.
You catch a lot of fish.
Do we catch a lot? You bet we do. You bet we do. And it just goes to show, I'm not saying my way's right, I'm not saying my way's wrong, but I'm just telling you how I catch fish on it. And that's, yesterday was proof of one of my better trips that I've done. I mean, within about an hour and 20 minutes, we had our limit of snapper. And you could have walked through like Moses.
How many snappers that?
That was 10 a person. I had a 3-person charter yesterday. 2 kids, 12 or 14 and 16, and a dad, and they were from Missouri. Did I mention I didn't get a tip yesterday?
Yeah.
I'm not saying you have to tip the captain before, you certainly don't.
Will they ever get to fish with you again?
I would think I'm gonna send them your way, Bill. I'm gonna send them your way. All right, so just to recap real quick, if I see the snapper on the surface, I'm going with this small number 1 hook. I don't know if you guys have seen it over here. The other thing I would like to mention, part of Duck Dynasty, you look like you could be right in the Duck Dynasty. Making some duck calls, huh?
He's the weirdo.
Mumbles? Yeah, come on, one of them out here.
Oh, what kind of knot is that you've got on that?
See, look at my girl Kimberly.
Yes, what kind of knot
Blonde
is
in the
that?
groove. I like and I always use the loop knot. There's several different loop knots. I don't know if you guys have seen it. A good friend of mine, Mike, Captain Mike Dennehy, also known as the Kahuna. He has invented this knot right here. It's called the Big K Super Loop. It's the strongest loop knot that I've ever used. I think it tests out to like 80% or something like that. And if anybody says a loop knot tests at 100%, yeah, your eyes are kind of real close. Just want to put it between your eyes. The reason why I do a loop knot is because the current's going. I got that sardine. I want it to be free. I don't want it to be stiff. You want it to look as natural as possible. And I guess it also comes with years of tarpon and permit fishing. A drag-free drift is the easiest way for me to describe that. It's like when you're tarpon fishing, if you're using a crab, right? Tarpon will eat a big crab, eat a medium-sized crab, tiny crab. Don't even eat a dead crab. Even eat a crab that's all grassed up. I mean, I've been there dipping before in the passes, and I go dip a crab and the tarpon will come up and just bust it. But you know what he won't eat? Crab that's spinning. And if you don't have that drag-free drift, that crab spins, and that bait spins, and guess what? They don't hit it. Just like when we're trolling ballyhoo. Sardinia over here, one of the kings of trolling ballyhoos. You can't have your ballyhoo spin. You know, it's got to look natural. He looks, gotta look like he's swimming. Same thing with our dead sardines. That man there can bring a ballyhoo and he swear it was alive. Frozen, takes it out, defrosted, puts it on. I don't know how he does it. He bends it, breaks its back, talks to it, gives it a kiss, throws it over, and it just takes off from the boat. I'm like, how the hell did I do that? But I use the loop knots. Seems to be really effective. And drag-free drift, fellas. Piece of sardine. Use the head. Use the rest of the body as a chum. But use the head on your hook, and you will catch them. The rods that I use, this is a Shimano. I like on my snapper. I like it soft tip, because when they bite it, it gives. When I'm grouper fishing and all, I use a stiff tip. But on my snapper, I like a real soft tip on there. I'm using a little bit of a bigger reel than it's rated for the rod. And the reason I'm doing that is because I like about 300 yards of line on there. Because, yeah, most of the time we catch a snapper. When that 30-pound blackfin hits it, you don't want to get spooled. That's a terrible feeling. I mean, when you look down and you have 2 or 3 wraps and you hold that spool and it goes pop, heart kind of goes away. So when I'm chumming, all right, we're getting snapper, we're getting tuna, we're getting mahi, we're getting all kinds of different fish. What I call the tax man comes. And it's not my wife, she's a CPA, so she knows all about taxes and whatnot. But it's the barracuda that come in. And for some reason, boy, do they love eating a snapper. So the same guy that showed me the Big K Super Loop, Captain Mike, Kahuna, also makes these lures right here, and we call this the Kuna Killer. And it's nothing like tossing this out right in front of the tuna. I don't care if he's eating 10 snapper in a row, he can't get another bait down his throat. He sees this thing drop, he's eating it. And once you sting him, guess what? He's not coming back. You know, those barracuda will sit right in the shade of your boat. You're bringing in a big snapper, they jump right out and grab your snapper. You're sitting there with them kind of a dump look on your face. You're like, wow, he just ate my snapper. This thing, called the tax man. They'll send them running. They don't like it. And we were talking about earlier the size of the leaders I use on everything else. If you guys notice this, here's my leader right on there for that. We're about 2.5 foot leader. Snap that. So
How test is that, Glenn?
50.
50.
Yeah, go 50. But it's an incredible lure, and there's others like it. But I know one thing: when those barracuda come in and hone in on my chum slick, this sends them running. And it might not seem like a big thing. Guess what? It works. And there's nothing like getting those big cudas.
What other fish can you catch with that?
Catch everything. Everything. We've caught tuna, we've caught cobia, almost everything that swims. I didn't know that Tampa Bay has such an eel population until the red tide a few years ago. I don't know if you guys ran around during that red tide and saw all the dead fish floating. The number one dead fish that I saw was an eel. I had no idea Tampa Bay was floating in the fields. But where I live over Pocasiega Bay, on that side, I mean, there was tens of thousands of eels. I don't know if they eat their eggs. I don't know if it's a natural predator. I don't know what the relationship is. I don't know if they taste good. I know up in Virginia, trout lines, we get eels, right? Cut off a piece, salt them, put them on a trout line, and we would catch, a bushel of jimmies in them like an hour. So whatever it is, these things work. So I just wanted to show you guys. They make them in black, they make them in red. Steve's favorite color, pink. I don't have much luck on pink. I had a dream about Steve Gilliam. Couldn't believe it. I woke up about 6:30 in the morning and I could tell my wife, "Hey, I'm dreaming about Steve Hoffman." She's like, "What are you talking about?" I was like, and Tiger was in it. We were in my old tower boat and we were fishing a point that we were supposed to be tarpon fishing. We had these small crabs on. I come around the point, it was a super high tide, and I could see fish off in this pond. And I was like, "Come on, Steve, let's go in there and get them." Tiger's like, Pavlov's dog, just, salivating. He goes, let's go. So I somehow get my boat into this pond, and we start catching sea bass. Anybody in here ever catch sea bass before? You? I really have never caught sea bass before. Up north, right? What side of the sea bass? Like, they're small, right? Well, Steve throws a bait over. It gets hung up underneath the boat. He loses it, rips the crab shell off. He tosses it back out and catches like a 5 to an 8 pound sea bass.
Oh.
And he starts screaming, "Oh, I've been looking for this fish my whole entire life." And I'm like, "Really? You've seen him?" And I can see him all over. Tiger is just dying. He's throwing in crabs, and I'm thinking to myself, "Man, these sea bass are eating my crabs. I can't believe it." So we're sitting there. We can't get another fish into the boat, right? The coolers are full. The whole deck is covered with fish, and there's these giant sea bass. FWC comes out. Oh my holy cow! Here we go, right? So he goes, "Fella, you realize that you're fishing in like a marine sanctuary." And this was a dream. Now, why I had this dream, I have no idea. And then I kind of knew I was dreaming when he said, "You guys are a bunch of knuckleheads." And if you know Steve and his fishing team, they're Team Knucklehead. And then I woke up and I was in a deep sweat, and I was like, Trudy, I'm dreaming about Steve. So,
5 hours dream.
but we caught these big sea bass, and I don't know, and apparently we were in a pond that they raise sea bass to sell across the world, and we were catching them more than
You were Team Knucklehead.
I was a Team Knucklehead. We got any, I digress a little bit. We get any fly fishermen in the group? Anybody like to throw the long rod? A little bit? You don't have to throw good. Anybody just like it? See it on TV or something?
I like to try it, but I've got, well, you know, the people I fish with, I'm scared either I'm going to get hooked or I'm going to hook somebody.
Yeah, well,
That's
the last fly charter I had, the third cast got me right in the back of the neck, so I know what you mean. I kind of ducked a little bit. But when we're doing these glass minnows, breaking out a fly rod, it's just one of the funnest things that I've ever done. I make these flies right here, and you can buy these flies. It's actually called silly skin, but they're glass minnows. And when I get them, I throw out all my glass minnows, and the snapper are coming in, and the black pins are in there, the line gear in there. I just go out, right, throw out my glass minnow, let that thing sink, and it is on. He looks just like a glass minnow. I probably have caught more fish on this glass minnow right here, using this as a fly. As they say, a well-presented fly is probably better than any bait that we've ever used. I kind of believe in that. Sure.
Question. Way back when I had hair, I used to trout fish in Colorado, fly fish. In fact, I didn't exclusively, but before I did that, you get a bubble, a float,
Right.
fill it with water, and you can cast about a mile,
Right.
and you can fish or fly on the other side. Have you ever tried that in saltwater?
The only thing I've ever tried, and I've never used a bubble, is like when I'm on the streams, strike indicators. What were they, like cotton balls? And we put some type of goo on top of it so it would stay on the top. And I would use that if the fish were way up on the surface, you know, so my fly wouldn't get too deep. But no, I haven't used the bubble, and I don't see why it wouldn't work. You know, you want to see that? What do you want to see this for? Come on.
I'm gonna spawn in my fly room.
Well, too nice. How's my fishing, Steve? Tony.
Oh, it's.
Am I in?
Like a
I'm in. Tony got me field passes for the Buccaneers game this year. So kind of a
Your son.
My son.
Your son.
Yeah, my son.
You're just coming off the rock.
You said you were a Philly fan?
Eagles, yeah.
Yeah. And you said who was the biggest fan that you knew?
Dude, I'm a diehard Eagles.
I was there last year.
Uh-huh.
I was there for that game.
Yeah. When are we going fishing?
We got
Because if you're an
McDonald's.
Eagles fan, you've got a direct line right to my boat, man. Let's go. We got the Chip Kelly spread offense this year. Let's see.
Hey, the Bucks got ripped off the last
Yeah,
game
the Bucks
last
got,
year.
Raphael and I were at the game last year, but lo and behold, that the Eagles were coming into Tampa back-to-back years, and that's very rare.
Oh, God.
You know, and so you're gonna join us this
Oh, yeah,
year?
absolutely.
I mean, we got a tailgate.
On tailgate.
Oh, the Sardinia had a big pig out there, and he was roasting.
Let's
up
just do a
some-
certain.
Dude, I'll tell you, the last time I went to the Eagles Tampa Bay game is when Donovan threw up on the field and they kicked that like 50-some yard field goal. to win it.
I was there.
Dude,
I was at that game.
I was like, what?
We were winning, and then all of a sudden we lost. Yeah, it was like a 62-yard
Yeah,
field
it
goal.
was ridiculous.
I remember Brian Westbrook got the handoff, and their linebacker, whoever he is, the guy from Florida State, Hall of Famer, just Derek Brooks. He juked Derek Brooks out, man, and Westbrook took it to the house, and we were screaming, and then they kicked the 62-yarder. So, all right. I talked a little bit about snapper. Any more questions at all about
I got a
snapper?
question. Sure. Most of my snapper fishing offshore is done on headboat.
I had that.
Okay, so we we don't always have the opportunity because of the number of people on the way the currents run into freelance. So can you give me a little bit of edge tips for when I have to fish down in the bottom?
Oh, absolutely. Are you on the side of the boat, or are you on a
I
corner?
usually fish up in the front
back?
third.
Are you getting away from people,
I
Chris?
try, I generally have a pulpit or a little bit back. I avoid the stern madness.
Yeah, right. If you're elbow to elbow,
Yeah, I
everybody thinks
know,
there's
I
more
know.
fish in the stern. Guys, you're on a head boat. I mean,
I go in
there's-
front.
There's 40 baits being dropped down continuously, constantly. You're creating a nice natural. But you know, on the head boat,